like that, it's 48 minutes till forever. We're going to cover it all over the next 48 hours. CBS NBA insider Bill Reiter aboard to do just that. Bill, let's close the book on Game 5 here first. Warriors shoot 22% from three-point range. Steph has his worst shooting night in a decade, and still, it's a 10-point victory with some time to digest now. How do you file away Game 5?
What a colossal missed opportunity for the Boston Celtics. I mean, if you want to be an NBA champion, the stats that you just cited, and the fact, and no disrespect to this guy, but if Andrew Wiggins is the best player on a given night on an NBA Finals team, and you can't beat that team, you are in deep trouble. Jayson Tatum didn't step up, especially in the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown didn't step up, especially in the fourth quarter. Marcus Smart couldn't do it. Yes, the Warriors played exceptional defense. That's part of what they've been able to do over the course of the regular season. They lost some of that footing, frankly, in this postseason. They've gotten that back. But the fact that the Celtics, who have been the better team on paper in the series, they have been, they should be up in the series, weren't able again in the fourth quarter to finish off the Warriors, especially given Steph's struggles. That's the kind of moment you look back at when you don't win a championship that haunts you.
Well, talking about Steph's struggles, a sure bet he's going to make a three-pointer, but that streak coming to an end in Game 5, if you can believe it. Mark it down. That was the first game with no threes for Steph since November 2018. So set us up for some success here, Bill. What's a player prop that you like for Steph for Game 6?
Let's ride Steph Curry. By the way, I haven't even seen the three-point over. I'm in. I'll just do it. I'll just do it. Here's a stat that's going around that I think is significant. And you can get into the human psychology of this, which is real. Steph Curry's a superstar. He occasionally has off games in the postseason, including the finals. He always finds a way to rebound. But on games where he hasn't made in the playoffs a three-point shot, which is rare but has happened, he shoots 52% from the three-point line in the game that follows. And Draymond Green talked about this. Draymond Green, I think Draymond's right, thinks this is great for his team, for the Warriors, because Steph's going to be mad as hell, angry, fired up, and out there to torch the Celtics and really reclaim some of that pride, which has always fueled Steph Curry. So the 28.5 point total for Steph, which I've been over almost every single game this series. I didn't do the last one at 30.5. Did not think he'd score 16. I don't want to call it a lock, because if you do that, then you're testing the gambling gods and things don't go well. But I love Steph Curry to have a huge night, championship on the line, no Kevin Durant, legacy moment. He's going to take a bunch of shots. We've seen him take over games in the fourth quarter. I love him having a 30-point night.
Understanding the moment for Steph here in Game 6 with the one missing resume note dangling out in front of him. I know there's been some chatter after the Wiggins Game 5 that he could maybe do an Iguodala and steal the MVP from Steph, but give me over on every Steph prop here coming up in Game 6. Turning to the Boston side here, fourth quarter woes. It's really spelled the demise of Boston thus far. 19 points in Game 4, 20 points in Game 5. What have you made of Jaylen Brown's recent struggles here? Because he really popped in Game 3, led all scorers in that game, and has really gone away in these last two. The box score, if you look at it in a vacuum, isn't terrible, but in the moment was not great. How do we really play him in terms of a prop here in Game 6?
So it's been hit or miss depending on the game and the situation, but I have not bet a Jaylen Brown over point total. I have gone under several times. I'm going to do it again, and I think part of what we've seen, you said it, the box score doesn't always tell the whole story, though it often tells a nice story if you have faded his point prop. He has played well when he has played really well offensively in a couple games in the series in the first quarter. He's had some first quarters where he's just gone off. He's gone supernova, and yet he hasn't been able to keep it up. And it's a combination of the Warriors' ability to figure out how they can get in his grill a little bit, make him feel the physicality the Warriors are throwing his way, which is the Celtics' modus operandi usually when they're playing D. And I know that people roll their eyes, but it's just true. Sometimes players can't handle the moment. Just to make sure that it wasn't me as a guy that didn't play the game getting this wrong, I texted Isaiah Thomas, the Hall of Famer, not the former Celtic. And what he hit me back with was, yes, like guys like us, guys like me, Isaiah Thomas, who have been to an NBA championship, who know what it is to win and lose these things, understand it feels different. It's real pressure. Not every guy can handle it. I think the way that Isaiah put it was, when I pointed out some of these guys in the Celtics haven't handled it, was facts. These are facts. And I think they'll figure it out. I think this is a learning process for the Celtics, and their future is very bright. I don't know that it's that bright on Thursday, and I certainly don't think Jaylen Brown has a huge evening.
You say winning and losing these things, and sometimes you got to know what it is to lose one before you can win one, and that really looks like where Boston has been over these last couple of four quarters here.
Yeah, we definitely are seeing that experience kind of play into it. But one new guy, per se, Andrew Wiggins, just showing off the bunnies, as Luka Doncic called it, right, this postseason. Besides those monster dunks, he's averaging about 16 points this postseason. Bill, what's a player prop that you like for Wiggins coming up?
All right, so I'm not crowning this guy Finals MVP. I'm with Joe. It's not Finals MVP. Let's stop. I mean, Steph Curry could win Finals MVP even if somehow the Celtics win the next two. But I do like Wiggins to have a really big game. If you watch the flow of the basketball games that we've seen over the course of this finals, one of the things, and even in the last game where Steph didn't shoot well, he just attracts so much attention. Even when Steph is double teamed, when he splits that double team and he's often able to work his way through it or around whatever pressure he has, there's just a gravitational pull that Steph has. And Wiggins has been able to be the guy to figure out how to attack the rim in that reality. You'll see guys get open shots like Clay, even Draymond, Jordan Poole. Now, they've missed those shots, so we're not getting all the credit I think Steph deserves for creating those opportunities. Wiggins hasn't had that problem. All of the force, all of the attention you have to throw to Steph Curry has created driving lanes and space for Andrew Wiggins. He's taken advantage. It has fueled his confidence. You've seen him hit jumpers now and hitting threes. He's playing great defense. 18.5 is a big number. I get it. They just don't have a solution for stopping Andrew Wiggins from using his athleticism, given what they know Steph can do. And I think the natural fear that's still out there when a guy like Klay Thompson, even though he struggled at times, better game 5 is on the wing. Give me Wiggins to get some easy buckets and go over that 18.5, which is a big number for him.
You saw him on that rebound number as well, averaging 12 rebounds per game, especially second chance opportunities that he's creating for his team in this series, these last 2 games specifically. We love to dig into the minutia of these series, but Bill, sometimes it's as simple as the team with the best player wins the series. It's safe to say that that's been Steph. If it's going to be Boston over these next 2, it's got to be Tatum. He's gone away in the fourth quarter, 2 of 10 combined over these last 2 fourth quarters. How does that inform your prop play here in Game 6?
Very comfortably going under, I think, the 27.5 total. I'll try to lean into a little bit of kindness here, or at least the possibility of kindness, because one read of this is that Jayson Tatum just can't handle the moment. And we've seen guys like LeBron James, struggle in a finals and have to sort of go into a little bit of processing mode in the offseason to come back and channel what they need to channel. But there's also rumors, there's thoughts, there's concerns that maybe he's not right physically, hasn't done basketball in a long time, hasn't had the offensive explosiveness. Maybe it's excuse making. Maybe he just can't handle the moment. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Either way, whether it's physical or mental, he is not right. He has not been able to play the way that he needs to. He's got these air balls that are living in his mind. Hit 3 in that fourth quarter. You know, to Joe, the fact that he just hasn't played well when the game has been on the line. The Warriors are NBA champions multiple times over. They know it's at stake. I think they'll win. I know they're going to make it hard on the Celtics. They're going to make the Celtics feel the pressure. That means Tatum's got to do things he hasn't done. I'll go under that total.
I'm still struggling to reconcile it because we saw the best of Tatum again in the third quarter in that Game 5 loss, and he had the spark, the jumper was hot, and then the fourth rolls around and he tightens up. We'll see if he can find it in the fourth here in the sixth.
I feel like watching him this postseason in general, it's really been a roller coaster, right? And Bill, I wonder too if that's part of the experience of it, just getting his legs underneath him at this point.
I think, and just guys that have done this before, because obviously none of us have played in NBA championships, and a lot of guys who are professional, all-time great players haven't played in NBA championships, and guys like this Celtics squad, great players, pros, I'm sure there's some future Hall of Famers on this squad, haven't been through this, and the way it's been explained to me is it feels different. And when one Hall of Famer told me, when you see that ring, when you can sort of like, oh my God, there's my lifelong goal, everything feels faster, everything feels scary. A comp a guy once made to me was, it almost feels like when you come into the league for the first time, you've played the game your whole life, but the game just feels a little bit different. And I think we've just seen the speed of the game that, I know people don't like the word fear, but the fear and the excitement and the jubilation that this gift is close, and you're not trying to get it in a vacuum. This Warriors team with this guy named Steph Curry's coming at you too. It's hard to handle. I think these guys will learn from it, but are they going to learn how to handle this moment in the next couple of days? We haven't seen it yet.
We know Jayson Tatum, I'm sure, will get that ring someday the way he plays, but we've gone through some of these big name guys and their player props. What is your top player prop for Game 6?
It is a big name, guys. So this is the one, us gamblers understand. When something's working, you got to ride it. I've been with Steph Curry this entire postseason, haven't won all of them, but I am a believer that Steph Curry understands not just what's on the line in terms of a championship, but his own legacy, the post-KD ring, what that means and says about what I think is already true about him, but our acceptance of it. I think Steph has a remarkable game. I know we already talked about it. I love his over on the point total. 28.5 is way too low. I know the total's back down on the 210 range. It's 215 early in the series. Vegas thinks we're going to have more defense. We've had that, but not with Steph. He responds from what was a bad game, and he's extraordinary.
I'm not sure 31.5 would scare me.
I would go over.
Bill, as would
I think I would.
If we take a little alternate line and walk away winners in a big way. Did you catch the St. Louis native pining for Tatum there?
I did.
Putting a ring on his finger.
Is he more famous than Nelly now? That's the question.
They brought Nelly there for him. And I think that directly impacted his performance. I'm just saying.
It didn't work.
You got to do what you got to do for the hometown. Let's transition to that Celtics side. Who are you really keen in on if we want to go one player prop here in Game 6?
All right, so just like with Jaylen Brown, it hasn't been every game, but there have been moments where where I felt like he'd go under. I've liked Marcus Smart on overs in certain situations. He's not going to be the focal point of the offense. Obviously, for this team to win this game in this series, it's got to be someone that's named Brown or Tatum. But I think Marcus Smart is going to have a big game. I think one of the things about Smart, unlike some of those other players, is there's been more of a fearlessness, even though he hasn't been able to execute. 16.5 is not a big number, and the Warriors are going to do everything they can to make life miserable on Jaylen Brown and on Jayson Tatum. That gives an opportunity to Smart. I don't think it's a huge evening from him, but I like the over on his point total at 16.5.
Bill Reiter in the building until they hand out the Larry O.B. Bill, we appreciate you. Let's take a look at those plays once again from our insider. He's playing Curry over the 28.5. I will as well, and you should too. Jaylen Brown under his 23.5 as he's stayed shy of that number here the last couple. Andrew Wiggins over 18.5 is the play there. As for Tatum, the first 3 quarters might scare you, but if you get to the fourth, he might be the one scared. Play that under the 27.5. Marcus Smart over his 16.5. Those are your player props from our Bill Reiter.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.